It's now November, and we know there's going to be plenty of upcoming sales, and most likely, lots of shopping that is going to need to be done. That said, in the meantime, you might find yourself a bit hungry for a new game or two that you might want to play on your Nintendo Switch to tide you over until later. So you know what that means? Well, that means it's a perfect time to take a look at some $2 to around $3 eShop deals. Bite-sized prices for some sweet games that won't break the bank or impact your budget. That's what today's video is all about, so let's take a look. Teslagrad was a bit of a hit with players when it was first released back in 2013. It is a puzzle platformer where players control a young boy who uses magnetism and electromagnet powers to explore a deserted tower that's full of traps and danger. It's a game that will test your reflexes as well as your brain power with its very tricky puzzles, but don't let that intimidate you. This is a darn good game. The original game is on Switch, but there is a remastered version too, and that was released on Switch late last year. This features upgraded visuals and quality of life changes. It's nothing too crazy with the upgrades, but it is a nice version. A nice thing about the remastered version too is that it's much cheaper than the original version, especially now with the latest sale. It's down to a brand new low price, just $2.49 on the eShop. The long-awaited sequel, Teslagrad 2, was also released last year, and the gameplay expands further with the electromagnetism powers that were introduced in the first one, as well as this one incorporates elements of Metroidvania games. This game you play as Lumina, who must use her powers to try to return home. As players play through the game, they will find upgrades to her powers, face off against bosses, and of course, tackle many puzzles. While I think the first one is the best of the two, Teslagrad 2 is a pretty solid game in my opinion, and you can't beat the price that it's going for currently. It's just $1.99. Surprisingly though, the previous two games aren't the only games from 2023 that are going for shockingly low prices. The other game would be Oxenfree 2. This game and the first one are on sale for just $1.99 each. These are pretty good psychological horror themed games with plenty of supernatural events and some spooky stuffs that have won a lot of praise from reviewers and players alike. The first game has you playing as Alex, a teenage girl who travels to a local island, and soon after arriving, lots of spooky and weird events start occurring, and her and her friends must unravel the secrets of the island. The second game, Oxenfree 2, Lost Signals, takes place 5 years after the first game. This one has you playing as a different character, a young woman who returns to her hometown, but soon afterwards, she discovers a portal to a nearby island. She then starts to experience hallucinations and time loops and just wacky and creepy stuff. She has to find out why these events are occurring, as well as, just like the first game, the secrets of the island. Both games feature choices and decisions that you must make, and based on your choices, different things and events might occur. Right now, both games are on sale for a massive discount. Again, they are just $1.99 for each game, which is the lowest price the first game has been in over a year, and for the second game, that's the lowest price it's ever been, ever. Again, the game just came out last year, so it's a pretty incredible deal, with it being sold for so cheap. Panzer Dragoon Remake goes on sale all the time, but that doesn't mean it's bad or anything. No, it's actually a pretty good remake, of one of the most noteworthy games from the Sega Saturn. This unique rail shooter has you riding a dragon while taking down enemies from all sides. In addition to your regular shot attack, you can also lock onto enemies and targets to deal massive damage. The remake is beautiful, featuring some gorgeous looking visuals, and it's backed with an amazing soundtrack. If you like shoot 'em ups, then you should definitely check this one out at $2.49. A modern sequel to a hidden gem Neo Geo arcade game, Andro Dunos II is an awesome retro-style shoot 'em up that is a must-play for fans of the genre. Featuring some nice level design, a much improved weapon system over the first game, and some awesome boss battles to boot, this game is a real treat. Players in Andro Dunos II start out with having access to 4 different weapons that can be switched to on the fly, and each one can be upgraded through collecting power-ups. Each weapon in game has its use, depending on the situation, especially when it comes to the bosses. And in order to succeed, you're going to need to learn and master each of these weapons, and not rely or really favor a particular one. That's why I really like the weapon system in this one. It forces the player to get comfortable using all the weapons to find what works well given the task. If you're a fan of shoot-em-ups, then make sure to pick this one up on Switch. It's on sale for a very low price, just $1.99. A steal of a price without a doubt. The Toki Tori games are puzzle platformers that are challenging, but are very fun games to play. In each game, you control a yellow bird named Toki Tori, and use their abilities or weapons given to them to help save the day. The first one is an enhanced remake of a Game Boy Color game, where you need to collect all the eggs in a level while using a number of weapons and abilities. Each weapon and ability can only be used a set amount of times in a level, so you gotta be mindful of how you use these, or else you won't be able to complete the level. It's a game that starts out easy enough, but quickly becomes challenging, and it's filled with lots of brain teasers. The second game shakes things up quite a bit, becoming almost a Metroidvania in a way, while also losing the set amount of weapons to use. Instead now, Toki Tori has access to a few abilities you can use whenever you want, such as the Stomp ability and the Whistle ability. That said, it's still filled with plenty of challenging puzzles to solve though. These are some great classic indie games, definitely worth getting if you love puzzles, and they're rewarding games and super cheap to get at just $1.99 each. The Last Campfire is a puzzle adventure game that is a wonderful little gem of a game. You play as a soul named Amber who must solve puzzles to help lost souls who have lost all hope. As you save these lost souls, new areas will be unlocked, allowing you to advance further in the game, as well as meet other characters who can in turn give you items to help you solve more puzzles. The core gameplay is fun, and the story is charming yet bittersweet. It's an excellent adventure game that's worth checking out for just $1.99. Silence is an adventure game about two siblings who find themselves in the world of Silence, a gothic fairy tale-like place that is in serious trouble. Evil creatures are ransacking towns, there's a war going on, and a group of rebels are trying to stop it all. Throughout all the chaos, Noah must try to find his lost little sister, Rennie. The gameplay is pretty much like an old-school style, point-and-click adventure game. It works well for a narrative-driven game, and at certain points, decisions you make will have an impact on the game's story, so there is multiple events to experience. What wowed me about this one is the visuals. It's a pretty impressive looking game. I like the look of the game, the character design, the whole bit. I think they did a wonderful job with the game's presentation. I think for $1.99, it's worth checking out if you want a good story to sink your teeth into. Ken Follett's The Pillars of the Earth is an adventure game adaptation of the popular historical novel of the same name. It's a really good adaptation too. It follows the events of the book very well, as you play as the three main characters, Jack, Alina, and Philip. I like the art style of this game. It's animated well, it kinda has a mature cartoon look, and apparently lots of the backgrounds are hand-painted. Just like Silence, which were both developed by the same company, this is a good adventure game for those who crave a good, rich story. And it's super cheap, just $1.99 via the latest sale. NeuroVoider is a fun twin-stick shooter with RPG elements. The game is apparently set in a futuristic world where brains shoot around evil robots with nuclear rocket launchers. Hey, that's literally the description of the game, but all you need to know is that you need to shoot the crap out of everything. Along the way, you'll level up your characters and collect loads of loot through procedurally generated levels. While there's plenty of games that allow you to do that, what's nice about this one is you're able to do so through local multiplayer with up to 4 players. That's pretty cool. That all said, it's a fun game, it's a blast to play, and this game got rated very well in reviews. It currently holds an 85 on Metacritic, so you're looking for a quality shooter, then check this one out. It's solid. It's back down to its all-time low price of $2.79 until November 9th. The Next Penelope is a top-down racing game that feels like some weird mashup of the Micro Machine game series and F-Zero and Wipeout racing games, with elements of shoot-em-ups thrown in for good measure. Yeah, that sounds crazy for sure, but this is a really cool game. The goal is simple: drive as fast as you can as you whip around the track with your powers, while also blasting away all that stand in your way. This game features a story too. It's some futuristic take on the legendary story, The Odyssey, but I'll be honest, most will, like myself, just focus on the gameplay, and that's okay, because the game is good. It's a real fun racing game, challenging for sure, but rewarding too. If you're looking for an exciting racing game without breaking the bank, then check this one out. It's at a good deal of a price, $2.59. And there you go, some sweet yet cheap games for ya. Make sure to stay tuned for upcoming videos. There's going to be a lot to cover over the next couple of months. Got some games to review, holiday buyer's guides, and of course, I'll be looking out for some sweet Nintendo Switch deals for ya. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't so you don't miss a thing. That's all for me today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you on the next video.